It's going to be a referendum as to whether the policies of the NDP are working for the province in the minds of the people. And based on Notley's falling approval rating, I'd say that we're starting to render that decision early.
We can go back to the days of saying that Alberta is this fiscal beacon of opportunity when we never even ran a balanced budget more than once in the last 9 years of PC rule. Or we can go forward with a principled, centrist movement under Rachel Notley and Alberta's NDP to a balanced budget, good infrastructure, social policy that works for all Albertans, not just a small sect of Kenny's followers.
I think you can either have Rachel Notley or you can have the Alberta advantage, and that's the question people are going to be posed with. Once again, the NDP loves telling us how we're supposed to feel about things and what we should be outraged about today, and it just goes to show it's been the mantra of their government for the past 2 years and what feels like 200, and I think that a lot of Albertans right now, they may have ticked a box on the NDP, but right now they're taking off days waiting for 2019 to roll around to get this government out of here.
The Alberta Liberal Party has definitely fallen on some hard times, but we're going to work to keep the government accountable. And we're not dead yet. We're still in there. We're working hard to represent the interests of our constituents. We're working hard to represent the interests of Albertans, and we're going to be in this for the long haul.
Well, I think there's just a lot more life into Alberta politics ever since the PC's lost power. This showed many young Albertans that you can actually care about provincial politics and make a change. I think it's very interesting, it's very telling that Jason Kenney and his followers always say fiscal responsibility, because they can't talk about social issues, because they have such extremely social conservative issues. Jason Kenney himself is a noted anti-abortion activist, after all. He's been on the news about that for himself. This is a very disturbing thing. Perhaps, yes, as you've said, he's mellowed over the years, but the fact that he keeps such uncomfortable company that would say things like feminism is cancer, or that abortion is tantamount to evil, is just unthinkable. Is this who we want leading Alberta in 2019? Is this who we want representing our province on the world stage?
The whole movement that voted for Jason were very moderate. They're very centrist people, but they believe in Jason Kenney, and he's a hope for the future to beat the NDP in 2019 and get Alberta back on track.
And Wildrose has been very clear that they will not tolerate hatred of any kind, and that includes the hatred of extremist elements of the far right. We've always been against hatred. In fact, we should be against more hatred from the left side when they talk about sewer rats in the legislature, and not unscripted, but as a scripted line from no less than the Deputy Premier herself.
And this isn't just an issue of uniting the right. This is an issue of uniting anyone who has values of fiscal responsibility. I think that, in any party, there's going to be the loud and vocal minority that holds certain views that don't necessarily represent those of the party. I think it's a matter of building a good infrastructure, of people who want what's best for the province and want to not necessarily push an agenda of one way too far or another, but more so, and I think what this whole coalition that we're trying to establish is about, is uniting people who want to build a better future and a better province for our generation and the generation after us.
I think for me personally, this is a very exciting time for me. A lot of our Wildrose friends were past PCs, so it's kind of a big reunion. We're going to mend a few things together, and we're going to win the election in 2019.
I think it's quite sad, honestly, the PCs, a corrupt group of self-serving, out-of-touch elites thinking that they know better for Alberta than Albertans know. They say that we're an accidental government. Albertans did not accidentally check that NDP box. They went to the polls and said, I don't want these self-serving PCs. I don't want these ideological, out-of-touch Wildrosers. I want a centrist government. And they elected one.
Okay, let's get some party chants going.